Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Paulz Podz. It's your favorite podcast host, DJ El Pablo. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Paulz Podz. You're listening to your host, DJ El Pablo. And this is a brand new episode, following up with what we have already been doing in the past, and that is the Japa syndrome. And this is part 3. And I just want to thank you for listening so far. I'd like for you to go back and listen if you want to catch up. But this one, we're taking it to the next level. And we're going to talk about life in Canada as a whole. So I'm going to kind of give you like an overview as to what life in Canada is. And then we can take it to the next level from there. So just give me a sec. So now, life in Canada. So life in Canada is very interesting, and I have a few notes that I wrote down as to what I thought life in Canada was like, and based off of, my experience as well as my, journey through, living in this country and understanding where. So based off of my experience and my journey. So, and also as well as, tell you what the general consensus is. And then I'm going to talk to you about something interesting that might be of great benefit to you as a person. So first, once again, welcome to the episode. And I look forward to the fact that you're going to learn something very meaningful for your life and for your journey. And if you're planning or exploring to what it's like to live in Canada, here are some of the things, but I'm going to give you like a brief history. So basically, Canada is a vast nation stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, and you read this in some of the historical perspectives of Canada, and you can find it in the website as well. It's a land of stunning beauty, which I can tell, majestic mountains, sprawling forests, and countless lakes. From bustling Toronto, which is one of like the most popular cities in Canada, and most populated actually. Over 2 million people live in Toronto as a whole. So from bustling Toronto to historic Quebec City and the picturesque seaside towns of the Maritimes, Canada offers a variety of landscapes and cityscapes. You can see this in some of my vlogs I've released on YouTube, where you can see where I visited Ottawa, and you can tell that some of the city highlines and skylights are really, really interesting and beautiful to behold, particularly visiting the Parliament Hill. So Canada is a country of multicultural tapestry, right? So one of the most striking things about Canada is its diversity. It is a multicultural country and a beautiful mosaic of people from all over the world. Now, this diversity is reflected in everything. I mean, everything. So this diversity is reflected in everything, including, food and festival. And you can actually savor fresh seafoods on the coast of Nova Scotia or British Columbia. Indulge in delicious Indian foods in Toronto's vibrant city. You can visit like Gerard India Bazaar and try Montreal's famous bagels, just to name a few when it comes to food and culture. Canadians are generally friendly and polite. They pride themselves in being known to be friendly and polite, and there is a strong sense of community, and people are always willing to lend a helping hand. It is a great place to live if you value a supportive and a welcoming environment. And also there is the next point, which is a great outdoors. For nature lovers, Canada is a paradise with stunning mountains like the Canadian Rockies, the beautiful lakes like the Great Lakes system. You can actually visit like the Centre Island, Ontario, to see like most of the really big lakes like Lake Ontario and all of that. And the vast forest teeming with wildlife. There's something for everyone, whether you are into hiking, skiing, kayaking, or simply enjoying a picnic in a picturesque park. Canada's natural beauty offers endless opportunities for outdoors and recreation. That was what I basically was able to gather from my experience and from having conversations with people and from research online. But there are challenges as well. Basically, there are challenges to living in Canada. And number one, which is what everybody complains about, is the cost of living. Cost of living in major cities like Toronto and Vancouver are very high. And the winters can be long and cold, which is one of the major challenge with living in Canada, where you're going to have 6 months of winter or thereabout. So starting from like around October, it really gets cold. So October, in some of the cold cities like Calgary and Alberta, October really gets cold. And then from October, so say for example, you're living in like Toronto, it could be from November. So November gets cold. So it's November, December, January, February, March. That's 5, right? And then some parts of April. So think about it from second week or third week in October to second week or third week in April. It's cold or snowy, So these are the things, these are the challenges when it comes to the weather, and the challenges when it comes to cost of living, which is very high. And then in the central and the eastern provinces, you find that the weather is always very extreme. But overall, Canada is welcoming and a beautiful country with a lot to offer. If you're considering a move from Nigeria or from any country to Canada, and you value diverse, supportive, and nature-filled environment, then Canada should definitely be on your list. I could go on and on, but I'm taking it to the next level, which is the next thing that I'm going to talk about when it comes to breaking down some of the things that you might need to do when it comes to category-based draws and stuff. So you can actually leverage on certain things like, the avenues that have been provided or prepared for you when it comes to moving to Canada. And there are so many like platforms that people can actually explore with moving to Canada. But this one I'm going to talk about is the category-based draws in Express Entry, which is one of the platforms through skilled labor or federal skilled workers experience. And I'm going to also be talking to you about how to try to explore some of these avenues to move to Canada. One is the Express Entry, and basically there are challenges with the Express Entry. So if you're following the Express Entry, if you've been following the Express Entry lately, say for example you started the process to move to Canada and you've been following the Express Entry lately, you know that it's been tough and the CRS cutoff scores have been high, making it difficult for many candidates to qualify to receive an invitation to apply for permanent residence. So let me break it down first. Now you want to move to Canada. Say for example you're coming from a country like Nigeria, and you want to move to Canada. There are certain steps you need to take. The first step is credential evaluation. Once you've evaluated your credentials, you've done everything that you need to do when it comes to your credentials. It could be like your undergraduate or your postgraduate, maybe it could be a master's, or even a postgraduate diploma. But you've evaluated your credentials. There are many platforms you can evaluate your credentials. If you need those platforms, just drop a comment in the comment section, and I will send you some of the links to these credential evaluation platforms. You can evaluate your credentials to know if your credentials are due or are kind of good for the system. for the system in Canada. So credential evaluation platforms, no matter the profession, just hit the comment section and I will send you the links to these platforms. Now, first and foremost, you need to evaluate your credentials. The second thing you need to do is your English proficiency. So you need to prove that you are proficient in English. It's not whether, for example, if you're in Nigeria, it's not whether you wrote WAEC or your undergraduate degree or postgraduate degree was done in English. You need to be able to prove that you're proficient in speaking, reading, writing, and listening. So you need to write IELTS, so International English Language Testing System or Service or something. So you need to write IELTS, and once you write IELTS, you need to get a specific range of scores to be able to have a very high CRS score. So the CRS actually means comprehensive ranking system. So it's a point-based system of ranking candidates who are eligible to move to Canada based off of certain factors like work experience, English proficiency, degree, and age. So those are some of the factors that determine your CRS score. And then other things like French proficiency, amongst others. So these are things that actually, so now it used to be strictly based off of your CRS ranking. But now there's category-based draws, which started, I think, about this year or thereabout, this year or late last year. The category-based ranking is more based off of your, which I'm going to explain now, based off of your work experience, that's where you work and the industry, especially for federal skilled workers. So basically, there are some challenges with express entry, and this has also this has also brought about a situation where a lot of people have been stuck in the pool. So, like I said, the first two steps is to evaluate your credentials and then write the English language testing. It could be with it could be with IELTS, British Council, or you could do the other ones. When I wrote mine, I did with British Council. So it could be IELTS, British Council, or all the other ones. And if you need links for those, I will send you the links if you hit the comment section. Then, so the thing about the draws is that after you have done those first two, which is the preliminary, then you have to now fill out a questionnaire on the website, the Canadian immigration website, to know if you are eligible for express entry. And then once you fill it out, you get a response. If you're not eligible, you have to get those things that are required for your eligibility. And then after that, once you've gotten those things, then you can start to think about creating an account. And then from creating an account, you create a profile. And then once you enter your credential evaluation and your IELTS in that profile, you submit the profile, and then you get in the pool. Then after that, you get invitation. You get something called an ITA, invitation to apply. You get the invitation, and then after you get the invitation, you now have to upload all those documents that you say you have, and then submit them within the time frame. You could be given a 30-day time frame. You could be given a 60-day time frame. It depends. So you need to do all of that. So I'm going to just briefly talk about like the category-based draws in express entry. And if you've been following it lately, you know that it's been tough with the CRS cutoff being so high. And it makes it difficult for candidates to receive an invitation to apply, which is the ITA that I just talked about now for permanent residence. So all of this process that I just listed out is a path towards permanent residency in Canada if you're coming from a foreign country. So the good news about this is that category-based draws is one of the paths in which you can actually, move, and then you won't have to stay so long in the pool, expecting that your scores are going to go high. So Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, which is the website you're going to go to, cic.gc.ca. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, has introduced category-based draws, which I told you has started like towards the end of last year or beginning of this year. And these draws target candidates with specific skills and experience that align with Canada's economic need. Now, the big benefit to this is that the CRS cutoff scores for category-based draws are typically much lower than the general draws. This means you have a better chance of getting an invitation to apply, even with a CRS score below 500. The CRS scores are going super high, and part of the other factor that makes it go high is because some people who are moving to Canada already have siblings. So by virtue of having a sibling, you get extra points in Canada. You can prove that your sibling is here in Canada, and you can actually even give evidence with birth certificate and stuff like that. So this means that you have a better chance of getting an ETA, that's an ITA, that's invitation to apply, even with a CRS score below 500. Now, the first question is, who is eligible for this category-based draws? There are 6 categories. The French language proficiency is one. Healthcare occupations is another. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics is another. It's called the STEM. Then there's the trades, and then there's the transport, and then there's the agriculture and agri-food. I'm going to take it again. French language, healthcare, science and tech with engineering and mathematics, trades, transport, and agriculture, agri-food. Now, each category has its own specific requirements. So for you to be able to be eligible, you need to meet these requirements. And you can find all the details in the IRCC website. If you need more information, just hit the comment section and say, I need more information, and I'm going to provide you with whatever information you need. And then you can find all the details in the IRCC website. Also, the question again I would ask is, what if I don't qualify? If you don't qualify for this category-based draw, don't worry. There are still ways to improve your CRS score for the general draws. So there's the category-based draw, and then there's the general draws. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the strategies to improve your CRS score. The first one is French. French is hot, right? We're going to talk about it. Before we dive into that, let's highlight the French language proficiency category, which is the first one that I listed out in the categories of people that are eligible. French language speaking category. IRCC is prioritizing French speakers this year, with 30% of ITAs expected to come from this category. So if you have a strong French language skill, this might be your golden ticket, which means go get your French going. If you're amongst those that did French as far back as secondary school, you can reactivate that and start taking classes and writing the exams, because it gives you scores, good scores, improves your scores. So in order to boost your CRS score, here are some ways to improve it for the general draws. First is language. So you have to master English and or French significantly. You have to master English or French. Ideally, you have to master both English and French. So you write the English test and also write the French test to prove your proficiency. So master English and French to boost your score. Second is education. So get an educational credential assessment, which I talked about earlier. It's called the ECA for foreign degrees, or consider further education, which can also help boost your score. So for example, if you have another graduate degree, you will need to boost your score by going further. So probably doing a postgraduate diploma if you can't afford a master's degree. Then the next one is work experience. Work experience ensures that it aligns, like you align with, the skilled National Occupation Code, which is called the NOC. And so in order for you to boost your score, you should aim for longer work experience. Then the next one is to change the principal applicant. If you remember in the previous episode, I talked about applying as a couple. So change the principal applicant. For example, if your spouse or common law partner has a higher CRS score, consider making them the principal applicant on your express entry profile in order to be able to get higher scores or boost your CRS score. Then, once you're able to do that, you should be able to get invitation. And then once you get the invitation, you both can apply together. Your partner is going to be the lead applicant. So it is most likely very important to understand that one of the ways in which your partner can actually even have a higher score is if they are younger than you. So that is it. So in conclusion, category-based draws offer a valuable opportunity for many express entry candidates. By understanding these categories and exploring ways to improve your CRS score, you can increase your chances of immigration to Canada. So do you have any questions about category-based draws or boosting your CRS score? Leave a comment below or reach out to me through the comment section in our Linktree page, and then I'll be able to send you some of the links that you need. Or just send me a DM or a comment on our social media platforms, especially on Paulz Podz. And don't forget to give us a like, a share, and a subscription, and follow as well. So if you need if you have questions and you need answers to those questions regarding this, I can be able to provide some context. I can be able to provide some experiences to help increase your likelihood of being invited. And then you could also try other pathways, immigration pathways. There are so many of them listed out. If you would want more, then leave a comment as well in the comment section saying the type of, saying that you want more. And if I get so many questions regarding this, I'm going to make a video regarding all the other pathways to moving to Canada. So these are the things that you would need to understand about life in Canada and how to move to Canada. I know you've all been waiting for this, and that's why I gave you like an intro and a video about, the Japa syndrome as a whole and how it has changed the landscape of things with immigration to Canada. So thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for following with this podcast series. In the next episode, we're probably going to do another one and give people options for where to move to. But generally, I can tell you in summary of all of this that Canada is a beautiful country and Canada is a beautiful place to live in. It just depends on the perspective and what you aim to achieve, when you want to move to this country. Apart from that, Canada is generally a beautiful place. And then when it comes to cost of living, if you set your priorities right and you plan well, you can be able to live okay in Canada. And like I said in the last episode, do not fall for agents that tell you that once you come to Canada as a visitor, you'll be able to convert to work permit and start working and all that. Most people that do that or take that route get stuck. So think about it, plan, just like I said in the last episode, and then prepare yourself for what lies ahead and set a timeline. And I bet you, once you are able to do all of that, you can be able to achieve your goal of living in another country. And it doesn't matter, even if you move to Canada and you are successful, you got a job and you got everything that you need, and then eventually you decided, I don't want to live here again. You can move to another country. So long as the aim of moving to Canada is achieved, you can move to another country. You can move back if you don't feel comfortable living here. But the truth is, Canada is a really good place to live in, and so long as you have everything sorted and everything is moving well, and you got a job and you even got a business, or you started a business, then you can be able to succeed living in Canada. Thank you so much for listening so far. God bless you. God bless your heart. And I look forward to giving you more content in the next episode. Have a good one. Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey today on Paulz Podz. We hope you found valuable insight and inspiration that resonates with your quest for meaning and purpose. But our journey doesn't end here. To stay connected with us and be a part of our vibrant community, make sure to follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or X as the case may be, and Facebook at Paulz Podz. Further details can be found in our Linktree site. Also, share the wisdom you've gained from this episode with your friends and family. Together, we can inspire and empower more people to embark on their own path towards a life filled with meaning and purpose. If you've been profoundly moved by our discussions and would like to support the podcast, consider becoming a patron on our Patreon page. Your support enables us to continue bringing you thought-provoking content and explore even deeper depths of the spiritual and human experience. And finally, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Paulz Podz on your favorite podcast platform so you never have to miss an episode. Your continued presence and engagement mean the world to us. Until next time, keep seeking, keep sharing, and keep supporting each other on this remarkable journey. This is Paulz Podcast, signing off. God bless your heart. And remember to always seek true meaning to life and live in.